My great nation, distinguished members of press, I would like to greet you all wholeheartedly and with affection. We now are approaching to the end of the holy month of Ramadan, and also we are observing the Qadr night. And I wish everyone a happy one. And I pray so that God blesses us with His forgiveness, with all benediction. The deaths, oppressions, unfairness taking place all across the world hopefully will come to an end, and I pray to God for that. Firstly, the global finance crisis and also the pandemic crisis uh, made all of us go through an era where ambiguities are on the rise. To work more and to be more grateful, there are numberless reasons, and we are exerting efforts to bring our country through and out of this period in serenity. By way of holding tightly on goals of democracy and development of Turkey, we are determined to make this new era an era of action for us. So much so that in the face of the pandemic, even the developed countries of the world uh, turned out to be vulnerable in the face of all these crises. From healthcare services to social solidarity, our country in all areas has left this era behind by way of looking very resilient. The global production and supply chain disruptions that took place in this period indeed affected all and has also turned our country into an alternative center. And to be able to make use of this opportunity, production, employment, investment, and export oriented new economy policy has been put to use with resilience, patience, and decisiveness. Of course, we have had challenges. First things first, the disruptions in the global economy, from oil to natural gas, from steel to iron, led to increases in prices, and this inevitably also reflected on our country. In many products, natural gas and electricity coming first, we protected our citizens, but despite that, the price increases has come to be hurting, as we are all aware. And along with that, the fluctuations that had come to its top and caused by the FX currency rates made all feel that, even though through the precautions we took, we made an impact. However, the impact of that on prices became permanent, with no doubt. Some greedy people making the fluctuations and also the foreign currency rate increases an excuse for themselves, started chasing after their own interests, as it upset us. Upset us. This picture that can be never explained neither by effects or fluctuations will always be held to account. We will be alert against those who have their sight on uh, the new terms coming with the relaxation and also the spring and summer times. We will have no tolerance for those who make price increases with no reason, and we will have no mercy for them, as I frankly declare from here. And of course, we will not get enough of only fighting against price increases, but according to our social parameters, we will be standing with all the citizens who are in need. Besides, the disabled, old, senior, widows, and relatives of martyrs and veterans will be supported through special programs. And using this opportunity, about 1.5 billion lira of salary worth of salaries paid for the disabled and the senior citizens will be paid on this Friday on the occasion of the Ramadan Bayram as well. Additionally, for an additional social assistance, financial assistance package, we have come almost to the final stages of our studies, and we will hopefully put it to practice. Turkey is one of the countries that has become one of those which has one of the most comprehensive social and financial assistance programs in the world. Standing with the citizens is, we believe, a guarantee for our existence and also unity. What's essential is to offer everyone a peaceful family environment, a climate of security where everyone will be sure of their safety and security, and also a high quality education system. Everyone will have enough sources to self-improve, free of charge and also uninterrupted access to healthcare services, and also the opportunities for entrepreneurship. From transportation to energy, from urbanization to sports, in all areas, in line with the needs of our day, our aim is to offer a basic, fundamental infrastructure systems. And thanks be to God, we have all those in our country. And for that reason, we're looking into our future with confidence. And to attain our goals, we work harder, and we do lighten the way, the path of our next generations with different methods. Some simple calculations or ulterior motives will not be able to hinder us or make us turn back away from our path, and some scenarios will never achieve in our country. Those who want to keep their safety and security under a guarantee will no longer have that era, and their era will not ever come back. For us, there exists only one thing, a strong and great Turkey. And for us, only there exists the new development movements, which will make us all attain our goals. And for us, we only have the movements of unity and togetherness, which will further bring us closer. Over the past 20 years, all the services and the projects we have materialized were done for these ends. Over the past 20 years, we have brought democracy, rights, and also revolution and freedom revolutions to all sections of our society, and we did that for exactly that reason. From within and outside the country, we protected our people, our country from many predicaments, many storms, and many heinous steps, and we have done all that for the same goal. The position Turkey has come to and the opportunities it has seized can only, but only be unseen by those who have their hearts darkened and who have eyes but not see. Every citizen who has foresight, insight, and awareness knows the mileage our country has covered over the years. Now we are telling our citizens that the challenges we are going through are related with the historical change and transformation periods and also the sufferings therewith. If we stand ambitious and also have perseverance, steadfastness, we then will come to the level as the veteran Mustafa Kemal described as being beyond the contemporary level of civilizations. In the past, in all eras when the new economic systems were established, our country went through political instability, social chaos, and also economic challenges. And they, in the past, managed to keep our nation outside.
99. yıl dönümüne ulaştığımız
In this era, when we mark the 102nd anniversary of the foundation of the Grand National Assembly and also the 99th anniversary of the foundation of our republic, we're determined to achieve our goals. Everyone has their own accounts, but what should not be forgotten is that what matters is the word, is the will, is the account of the nation. The late Mandela said, "Enough. Now it's the nation's turn to speak," and did bring a major blow. And Mr. Ozal, the late Ozal, also opened the path for the first time after him. And we said we will not stop, but we will continue on this path, and we further reinforced the bridge that our nation has structured over the years from our past into our future. Now it is about time we do reap the fruits and see the outcomes of all we have done over the years. We have liberated our country from the chains of tutelage, and we will be winning against inflation. We liberated, we saved our country from the impact of the inflation, and we will overcome the problem of expense in life. We have saved our country from terror groups, and we will be putting out the fire which is in marketplaces. Turkey has become one of the most respected and dignified countries of the world and in its region, and we have done that, and we will solve all other problems because we trust in this nation and we trust in this country because we trust in ourselves. We have self-confidence from within the country and also outside. We know what's ahead of us, and we know what kind of results we will have. About the solving of all minor problems of our country, those who do not have even the slightest idea or contemplation or reflection only make noise but nothing else. There are those who are not aware of what goes on in the world and where developments unfold. And let those people to counsel themselves on our own by their own fights for chairs and tables. However, we will be making all the preparations and run the execution for whatever we need for our country. My great nation, over the past 1,000 years, there have been our ancestors who did need the soil of this homeland with their blood, and we do own up to their legacy. And the centuries old legacy we have had indeed is a saga in which there is a happiness and sadness. From Malazgirt to Iznik, from Konya to Edirne, all the way from Bursa to Ankara. In this geography, we are proud of all history we have. In the beginning of the previous century, when we had great losses and suffered much, we still never lost our pride, our perseverance, and our hope as a nation. From Galicia to Libya, in a very large geography, the wars we waged never did stage an image where we would be embarrassed. In all areas, we had to retreat. The lowest, the most disgusting, and the most violent slaughterings of the world took place. And those massacres not only attacked and addressed and targeted humans, but also all elements of our civilization and our civilized heritage, mosques, bridges, and all structures included. Not very long ago, only 100 years ago, even in cities where many monuments were located, we had a lot. However, now you can only see only few of them left. And today, In those places, in some of them, not even a single Muslim person lives any longer. We're under so much of a pressure and a surrounding that they do not leave us alone in our own places, even from Crimea to Caucasus, from the Balkans to North Africa. Uh, those who made it to Anatolia from other geographies of a large area could. However, the others lost their lives or belongings. The First World War, in the face of the First World War of existence, the Armenians in Anatolia started rebels and attacked the Muslim communities by the provocations of some. Across all our country, the massacres and the tyranny by the Armenians are still fresh in many people's memories. The Armenian propaganda do express nonsense figures. However, a much higher number of Muslims were martyred by Armenian gangs, and this is a reality. Of course, no matter what one has as a belief or religion, it's a tragedy for even a single person to be killed or slaughtered. And the World War One for the Ottoman Armenians, we have always considered as a human duty to convey our condolences for all those killed and died. And we have been sharing statements with all every time and every year. However, a discussion that only historians should have is now used as a material for and by some for their own interests, and we have never tolerated that abuse, and we will not. Those who aimed at such an abuse should first know the fact that millions of innocent civilians, Armenian, Ottoman, or others, died, and but only those people showed disrespect to their memories. And all other allegations about that has no validity in our opinion, and the statement by the U.S. President is again the same as we consider, and we do not even think it's worth to even concentrate on, as these are not based on realities. Mr. Biden first should know very well himself the efforts by the Armenians and for them. Without knowing, it is not possible for us to forgive his act of challenging Turkey. In between the Turkish and Armenian communities, this is an action to create hostility, and it should never be disregarded that everyone will see that. And we know that all Armenians and Muslims living in our country are disturbed by this lack of respect. And also it is even beyond disrespect and even treason, in our opinion, as some did present such thoughts in the Grand National Assembly. This treason in the past was presented verbally and even was elevated to the levels of laws. And of course, with no doubt, it makes us think thoroughly who gave them the idea. Such sections had not even supported any action concretely, but let alone that we have not heard even a single word from their lips. But when it comes to treason against the nation by supporting terror groups, you see such people taking the front seats. Even a few months ago, a member of a group in the assembly was exposed with his relation with a terror group member, and he he abdicated from his deputy position, and the HDP still insistingly say that they do not want to be a party of this country. And indeed, we do not think it befits them to be the members of this very parliament. PKK terror groups extension in the parliament is what those traitors are, and before anything, these traitors cannot be tolerated by our nation as they are living on what our nation offers, and many losses took place. HDP, who never stopped speaking about Armenians, also now to create an uproar to defend them, and now when it is our nation to judge them. Now I do address my nation by giving a rifle as long as high as their heights. Children are taken to mountains, and those terror groups do that. And with what you can explain that? And with what can you explain the sadness of the Diyarbakir mothers? With no shame or anything they do attempt blaming other political parties in the parliament, and with what can you explain their action? And our Kurdish brothers and sisters whose mothers and fathers, grandfathers and grandmothers were martyrized should do what's necessary with all the Kurdish, Turkish, Laz, Caesarean, Armenian, or all. Everyone who do bring a stain to this soil should apologize, and we know the merits of our country, and this lowness that violates rights and dignity of the Turkish nation will always be held to account. And among the members of the second biggest political party in the assembly, there are some who do speak some complaints, similar complaints, and our nation will also hold them to account. My great nation, the security of Turkey starts beyond its borders, and we continue with our operations. These operations do cover our southern borders, and no terrorist can infiltrate our country, and we will continue with those operations until none of them is able to do that. And for many years, terror groups used sharp mountains, dens, and hideouts for their purposes and logistics. And we are determined to make all of those safe and secure places. And with these, we are going to also contribute to the protection of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of our neighbors. A few weeks ago, the Claw Lock operations new phase started, and I wish all the best to all our soldiers. May they all achieve and emerge a triumph, and may God protect them. And I pray for the mercy of God on the souls of the martyrs, our soldiers who fell. And I convey my condolences to their families, and I pray so that God blesses them with His heavens. And I wish a quick recovery for all those wounded. All our heroes, our martyrs and veterans now have claimed their unique spots in the honorable and glorified history of our country, including the latest operations in 2021 and 2022. The number of the terrorists neutralized by our southern borders has come to stand at a figure of 1,000. All responses has been given. Everything was retaliated, and our aim for the Klarlock is to clear all area, the whole area from Azap terrorists, and this way all regions will be secured by our southern borders, and the contact of the terrorists with those in our country will be fully cut. This challenging and treacherous region where the weather conditions and geography is harsh, the terror group used to define it as impassable. However, now the Turkish armed forces do clear all stones, leave no stone unturned, and make this place safe and secure permanently. Just like all the operations our country launched, our latest operation is in line and harmony with the UN Convention and also the bilateral agreements we have with our neighborly countries. And these are launched and operated pertaining to all international rules to protect all cultural heritage and all citizens. We do show the maximum caution, and so far we have not been accused of the otherwise. The members of the terror group in Iraq will be crushed, and the more Turkey makes them unable to move, we see the more some movements beyond our borders. And a special SWAT police officer, unfortunately, was martyrized because of the attacks that came across our borders. And now, with long range weapons, we do retaliate, but this should not deceive anyone. Circles who are active in the region, if those are unable to protect and prevent those attacks, Turkey has the will and decisiveness and ability to launch its own operations. We will never allow the establishment of a terror corridor by our borders. Sooner or later, we will be frustrating this bloody plan or games, I would like to reiterate. And those who have a will to serve as subcontractors to the attacks by the terror groups will be crushed. No one should have any doubts about that. My great nation, the developments in the world and in our region are followed very closely. The Russian-Ukrainian war hopefully will be coming to an end with peace and through the relevant parties, both parties, and also relevant institutions and organizations. We do remain in contact, and today we had contacts with the Russian and the Ukrainian. Before we made contacts again with the Russian and the Ukrainian sides, we met the Secretary General of the UN, Mr. Guterres, in Turkey today, and we very comprehensively talked about the steps that can be possibly taken to ensure peace. And the other day, we had a phone conversation with Mr. Zelensky, and tomorrow I will have a new phone call with Mr. Putin. We share the expectations, the approaches of both parties, and also our suggestions when we talk, and we do exert all sorts of efforts, firstly for ceasefire and then a lasting peace. The talks that took place in Istanbul and Antalya will continue to be the most significant ground for the resolution of the Ukrainian-Russian crisis. Our aim is to bring the Istanbul process to the leaders' level and ensure that the signatures to end the war are put on paper. And this for this, we need to reverse the current situation in field. And we do all our share for humanitarian assistance. So far, we have evacuated 17,000 Turkish citizens from Ukraine, and also the evacuations of all sisterly and neighborly countries' citizens who asked of assistance from us. And the number of the asylum seekers from Ukraine in our country has exceeded a figure of 85,000. And while paying the utmost attention to our region, we, on the other hand, cover road in our all areas. One of the areas we have covered a lot of mileage is, as known, aviation. With all the investments we have made, we have increased the number of our airports to 57, which used to be 26 before. All corners of our country should benefit from these services, and we, for the cities where there was no designated areas for airport constructions, we reclaimed seawaters, and for Giresun Ordu Airport we did that, and Rize Artvin Airport, which we did through the same method of reclaiming seawaters, is now to be finalized in its construction. When it comes operational, the airport will offer a lot of facilitation for our Black Sea, Eastern Black Sea region, where we have a lot of challenges of transportation in terms of over the land transportation. And on May 14th, Reza Artvin Airport will be officially inaugurated from abroad, and all domestic passengers who will travel to Georgia and Artvin will be able to use this airport. And the airport, other than the opportunities offered for our own citizens, will further strengthen the political, economic, and all relevant relations with our neighbors. The natural beauties of Black Sea, its humanitarian riches, will be claimed for our tourism. And not only that, but Bayburt and Gümüşhane Airport is under construction, and before long we will have completed its construction. And Yozgat Airport before long will be finalized and fully constructed and put to public use. In Yeşilköy region of Rize, the airport which was constructed on reclaimed areas, was a construction, the grounds of which started in 2010, and now with this in Rize and Çayeli and Artvin, we will have an airport fully operational. In December, the new terminal of Gaziantep Airport, and in March, the Tokat new airport was put to use. They were put to use, and over the past 6 months, 3 airports or terminal buildings in total have been brought to service. The runways and all hangar or infrastructure construction for Rize Artvin Airport has been completed on an area of 3 square million of area, reclaimed area, and Rize Artvin Airport will be the 5th biggest airport constructed on reclaimed areas. And it will have runways of 3 kilometers, 3 taxi roads, 3 aprons, and a terminal building, 448 car capacity parking area, and it will be a source of pride for our city and for our region. And a terminal building which was constructed in harmony with the traditions of the region, and with its tower, which took its inspiration and construction from a tea glass, is also what makes us proud. And our aim also is to promote Rize tea and also explain the impact and the influence of tea here in the region. And also a tea museum will be located at the airport. And I hope that the Rize Artvin Airport and all these great projects will be auspicious for our people, for the region, and for our country. And I would like to congratulate everyone who has contributed to the fruition of this project. Another good news is about an action that will take our country one step ahead in space technologies. IMC satellite launching date from across the world. High resolution imaging will be offered through our observation satellite of IMC, and in 2023, January 15, its journey will start. From mapping to agriculture practices, this satellite will be tackling many shortcomings about data. Hopefully, it will be auspicious. And we have some good news for our farmers as well. Within the framework of the program to support rural development, uh, we have offered 4.1 billion lira of grant and employed hundreds of thousands of people in total. And also we have allocated a grant of 1 billion liras for the procurement of agricultural machinery. And with these thoughts in mind, hopefully we, I hope, will be observing our Eid with a special joy. And for 2022, for the rural infrastructure investments and also a procurement of machinery, we will be supporting more than 32 farmers and also 418 entrepreneurs, and totally we will be offering 1.1 billion lira grant. The new grant program hopefully will be auspicious for our investors, our farmers, and our agriculture world. And I, with these thoughts in mind, would once again like to greet each and every one of you with love and respect. Thank you all very much. Stay in health.